Hi Aries, welcome to your November 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for all the information you need on that there. Alright, as for what we have in front of us, we have what I call a bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side here represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. After we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards to gain some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so with all that out of the way, in the past position on your side, we have the Three of Cups. So this is actually a Cancerian energy, which is your fourth house. So this could be playing out a few different ways. For one, this card has a very celebratory atmosphere to it. So it could just be saying that this was someone you went out and partied with quite a bit. Another way it could be playing out too could be saying that there's someone who felt very familiar with you. You felt very comfortable and at home with them. So, you could have had a lot of things in common in that regard. For some of you, this could even be saying that this is someone that you might have known for a long time. Because to me, I view this card as a combination of the Moon and Pluto energy. So to me, it's like a long-standing connection. And that's why usually, in my opinion, you see like what looks like possibly sisters, or at the very least, very close friends in the Three of Cups energies usually. Because it represents those long-term bonds. So this can definitely be someone you've known for quite some time. Or like I said, at the very least, someone who you felt that way when you were around them. Alright, and also before I forget, I do have to say, since I see some fire energy on this side, if you feel like the energies are the other way around, where this sounds more like your energy and that sounds like theirs, definitely trust that too, since it is just a general reading. But technically there's a little fire on both sides, but seeing more on the right. Alright, the past energy on their side is the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn energy and a Virgo energy. So on the one hand, those are two very work and career oriented signs. So it could just be saying that in the past, maybe they were very focused on career. Two of Pentacles too could also just be saying that they were a bit undecided. Maybe you were all in as far as you felt the deep connection there, but maybe they were a bit unsure of it, especially if you look at the artwork with the Eight of Pentacles. Looks like the guy's trying to offer a rose to the woman, and it looks like her mind is elsewhere, right? It looks like she's just staring off in the distance. So, and with the Two of Pentacles, it doesn't necessarily mean juggling as with another person, but maybe, again, like I said, since these are two of the work houses in the zodiac, the 6th house and the 10th house, it could definitely just be that they were very focused on career and not even really thinking about relationships in that regard. So that could be what's going on there. Alright, the present energy on your side is the Prince of Staves. So this is actually the equivalent of the Knight of Wands. So it's a Sagittarian energy. So for one, it could just be saying that maybe you guys live at a distance from each other, and maybe you're thinking about going to see them. That's one way it could play out. And since there is that Cancer energy there too, it could even be as simple as you go home for the holidays, let's say, and maybe you run into them again. That's one way it could play out. But I feel more than likely this is you making a conscious effort to go see them, though. So it's more likely that you're actually planning to specifically see them rather than you're just going to go home and run into them. But yeah, and then just this energy in general, if you think about the Knight of Wands, it could just be saying that you're in that mood to take action now. So that's what I'm seeing there. And the present energy on their side, we have the Two of Wands. So if you think about it as far as shifting from the Two of Pentacles energy, which is a bit more uncertain energy, and then moving into the Two of Wands, this could just be saying that they too are thinking about a start with you at this point. So it could be where the two of you might be on a more similar wavelength now, where in the past, you guys might have just been viewing the connection a bit differently. So it might even be that they initiate an offer to you and then you come out to see them. That's one way it could play out. Or maybe when you do go to visit them, you guys discuss possibly starting something. And this is actually an Aries energy here. So, like I said, for some of you, maybe you might feel like the energy on this side represents you, and then that's the other person. But I did have to mention that. Could even just be saying that since this is an Aries energy and it's the present, in the present they have a fresh start with you in mind. So that's another way that could play out. The future energy, we have desire, which is the equivalent of the chariot in the regular tarot. So yet another Cancer energy. So for some of you, this could definitely be saying that it's a Cancer that you're dealing with, and maybe that's, just how you view them. And this is actually also another indicator as well of travel, and usually long distance travel. So I don't think you guys live down the road from each other. At the very least, there might be a pretty significant geographical distance between the two of you. But yeah, I mean, any way you slice it, the chariot definitely represents forward movement. Usually it's called a victory card as well. So, could definitely be some success. Like I said, it looks like in the present, both of you might be on the same page as far as starting something. And I mean, the card is called desire, so that's pretty self-explanatory too. And the future energy on their side is the Six of Wands. And so now again, we see more fire energy. They shifted from the pentacles in the past to more fire energy. So, they could be feeling more passion toward you. Might have been one of those things where maybe you were feeling it more initially and they were a bit undecided, but now as time's gone on, they're starting to view it more passionately as well. And this, in some ways, is also referred to as a victory card sometimes too, the Six of Wands. So in that regard, it could just be saying that it's a win-win. You guys, for whatever reason, might not have been on the same page. I don't see any disconnection or animosity necessarily because, like I said, the Three of Cups is definitely a celebratory vibe. And while they, you see a bit of a disconnect energy with the Two of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles, it might have just been more of a preoccupation than anything, not an outright rejection or separation, but maybe for some of you it was. So, but yeah, and then this is Leo energy here. So, definitely a pretty passionate energy. Usually represents being in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form, being recognized. So, could be something going on with them too, where maybe now they're having the career success, and maybe now that they're feeling a little bit better about that, maybe that's what's helping them connect. That could be another way it's playing out too, where maybe they were so worried about their career that they couldn't really focus on love. Now that they're having success, they're a little more able to shift gears and focus on that now. But overall, definitely pretty positive energies on both sides. The bottom of the deck on your side, we do have the Eight of Coins. So that's the equivalent to the Eight of Pentacles, which we did see in the past on their side. So this could just be saying that maybe you were willing to put in the work in the past, right? Again, like I said, it looks like the guy was offering that rose, and then the woman just looks like she's staring off somewhere. So maybe you were willing to put in the work in the past, and they were a bit more undecided. The bottom of the deck on their side, they have the Five of Pentacles. And, that's often referred to as an energy of feeling left out in the cold. And maybe if there was geographical distance between you, maybe it was you actually had to move away. So maybe that's why they were feeling that way. But for others of you, it could just be saying that, maybe they were so focused on the finances and now they're realizing that, okay, that's great and all, but, maybe they want some connection as well. So that could be what's going on there. But either way, this is, definitely not too comfortable of an energy to be in. So maybe that's actually what lit a fire under them, was that, okay, well, I wasn't sure then, but I'm sure now, right? So that could be what's going on there. Interesting reading so far. We'll see what the oracle cards add to the mix. So first I'm going to try to pull some cards from this deck here, the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, what I do is I shuffle these before we start recording, and then what I'm doing now is I'm actually looking for jumpers. So first I'll be looking for any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and don't get anything, I take that as a sign and keep it moving. But we'll see if we get anything. I'll shuffle for a bit now. Like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Alright, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a little bit more time. Alright, nothing there, so we'll see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you. Alright, same here, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a little more time before we wrap up. Okay, nothing coming up there either. So what we'll do now is we'll see if we could get something from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So same thing here, I did pre-shuffle this one before we started recording, and here we're just looking for one card and then we'll wrap it up. There we go. Alright, interesting. This does not seem to line up with the reading at all, but we'll see. At least by the title. It says Chaos and Conflict. If we could get it to focus. There's the artwork, and the number is 33. So let's see what this has to say. Alright, it says disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The Oracle's message, opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. So interesting there. Like I said, this actually looks very positive overall as far as the energies here. I mean, like I said, in the past we did see where maybe you were definitely viewing the relationship a bit more positively than they were with, like I said, that Eight of Pentacles energy and the Two of Pentacles. It looks like they were very unsure of the connection, but I don't see any actual indicators that there was conflict between the two of you, unless the only thing I could even think of would be with the Five of Pentacles here. It could just be saying that maybe you left them behind because you felt like, they weren't into the connection. I don't know. But even that doesn't really sound like conflict. I don't know, I guess. Hopefully this resonates for some of you, but like I said, so far it doesn't seem to vibe with the main reading, which it's rare that happens, but it has happened before. Alright, the relationship message says, stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear, and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. So, interesting message there, actually, as far as it was saying stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. So, maybe it was one of those things where with the past energies, we do see that you guys weren't aligned, right? And maybe it's saying that, maybe you started to dig your feet in some way. And maybe, again, that's why they might be feeling that Five of Pentacles energy. I don't know. But, it says this is an opportune moment, to learn about your values, your sense of self, and what's really important to you. So, and it says it looks like you want to resolve the conflict too. So maybe if this was an actual parting of ways, right, in some way, shape, or form, like I said, at least in the present and in the future, definitely looks like you guys are more on the same page. Like I said, the Prince of Staves is that desire to take action. The Two of Wands is also a similar desire to take action and start something new. The desire and the Six of Wands, very similar energies there. So, like I said, maybe there was some kind of conflict you guys had because of not being on the same page, or maybe it's even pointing to a conflict of interest, and maybe it's saying that maybe you might have, either you or they wrote the connection off because of that, but maybe it's saying, hey, maybe there can be some traction, maybe you guys will find that you're on the same page now. Like I said, though, I don't know. I still feel like this seems a bit out of place. So maybe this is even a message for those of you where if this particular reading didn't resonate, maybe if this sounds more like your situation, maybe that's why this card popped up to give you some guidance there. But hopefully that made sense, guys. Like I said, this definitely seems positive, and even that, in a way, it does sound like it's at least saying that you can get past that if there was some kind of conflict, and maybe the key is to not hold on to the resentment that long too, especially, like I said, for some reason, the only reason that this even seems to make any sense whatsoever is there is that Five of Pentacles energy on their side. So I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those things where you might have taken it a bit personally when they were more focused on career. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. Obviously you guys know better than me if that does resonate, but we'll wrap up there. I'll see you guys next month. All right. Bye.